You're listening to JenEric Endtalkers, a Final Fantasy XIV podcast. And now, your hosts, Jen and Eric. Welcome back to JenEric Endtalkers. I'm JenEric Eric, and with me always is my beautiful wife, JenEric Jen.
Hello, hello.
And we are going to be talking about Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker expansion, the namesake of our entire podcast. We're going to be talking about that. There's less than a week. No, not a week. Less than a month until it comes out. It's actually pretty close, though. It's like 17 days or something.
So
of recording this, yeah.
When you give that number, are you like from the early release or of the actual release?
Early release, honestly.
So early release is the 19th. So that's 2.5 weeks from recording, and from posting this, it is a week away.
I feel like because early release is literally just pre-ordering it. No, Pixel, we're recording a podcast. Our people on the podcast can hear you.
Pixel says hello.
She was very, very concerned.
If you were not aware, we have 3 dogs.
Yeah, we do.
Serby, Pixel, and Rez.
No, so because early access is literally just pre-ordering it, I feel like there's so many people who are going to be playing it.
Yeah.
Like, I actually kind of want to know. I kind of want to know why people would not pre-order it if they plan on playing it and have that early access. You know,
I don't know.
This would be interesting.
I don't know.
It's a question that I wonder. But anyway, so this.
Needless to say, it's like right around the corner.
It is.
It's a jump, a hop, a skip.
And we're very excited. We were talking about how we were going to stream it. And I think that we had decided that we were going to try to either hold off on the story, maybe not stream it the day that it comes out or something like that, so that we can give everybody time to get ahead of us in the MSQ, so that when we are doing the MSQ, it's not spoiling it for anybody, so you guys can come and hang out with us and watch. But yeah, early access is November 19th.
November 19th.
So yeah, we're excited about that. This week
excited.
in Final Fantasy, Jen and I, what have we been doing this week in Final Fantasy? Babe? We kind of just discovered. We didn't discover Wondrous Tales, but we just
unlocked and started doing.
We started doing Wondrous Tales.
Wondrous. I like to call them Wanderous.
She says Wanderous, which they
both
kind of works.
It's my thing. I can say what I want to say. Words are hard sometimes.
And then did we say that the November 23rd is the day that it comes out for anyone who doesn't have the pre-order? So if you want to play it 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. You want to play it 4 days ahead of time. Yes, I had to do math for that, so please don't judge me. If you want to play it 4 days before that, just pre-order it. I mean, it's. I really don't think if you're going to spend the money a few days later, you might as well just get it already.
So in chat, Naruto had asked, do you plan to only MSQ on stream? Yes.
Yes.
So if we do decide, I think right now we have 2 options. We're either going to play Friday night, whenever like we would normally stream, but we normally don't stream on Fridays, right? And then maybe not stream Saturday and then stream Sunday, or we might just not stream the first 2 days and then stream on Sunday.
And yeah, so honestly, if that's the case, we'll probably log in and check things out, but on our own, but we won't do the MSQ until we stream. And just like we've done, since we started streaming Final Fantasy again, we've only done MSQ on stream. So we'll probably only do MSQ on stream, which means we'll give you guys time to get ahead of us in the MSQ. And then because we're only doing MSQ on stream, which is going to be basically 3 days out of the week, essentially, because we also like to play another game that's not Final Fantasy 1 day out of the week. We only stream 4 days now. So you guys will probably be done with it before we're even out of the first zone.
Probably.
To be honest. So
yeah, we'll talk it over.
Yeah,
but,
we're definitely going to figure that out. And then, of course, you also, like Stefan just said, you also get an earring for leveling your alts if you pre-order it, which is very helpful. So we've been doing Wondrous Tales. That's pretty much it. Things have been really weird recently. We've been going through a lot of stuff, personally, having to find jobs and everything, go back to work in regular full-time jobs. We haven't started yet, but we are getting there. So things have been kind of weird. We haven't been playing as much Final Fantasy as we would like, but
true, because of life.
Yeah, life. That bastard. But anyway,
we are going on a little trip before full-time jobs kick back in and all that
yes,
stuff.
which will be in the past if you're listening to this
It will
on
be in the past for
if you're watching the video on YouTube or listening this on any of the podcast
But I'm sure
sites.
there will be a vlog up if y'all want to check that out.
Yeah,
on the YouTube
yeah,
channel.
we're thinking about blogging it. We'll see, as long as it's not super intrusive of us actually having a relaxing time.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Endwalker is coming out. I'm sure that you guys, a lot of you probably know all the stuff that's coming to Endwalker by now. I mean, it's, you know, like we said, less than 2 weeks away. But Jen and I are going to go over, we have found a Kotaku article, Kotaku Australia article, that pretty much just lists or shows everything. It kind of talks about it a little bit. Just so you know, there won't be story spoilers, obviously, but if you don't want to know what zones are coming,
I was gonna say we're gonna go over zones.
we are going to go over zones.
We are gonna go over some beast tribes.
Yeah, some beast tribes and stuff. So if you don't even want to know that, just know before we go any further that it will be spoiled. But if you don't really, because this isn't going to be, I personally don't want to see exploration of those zones. I don't want to see videos. I know that once the release, the NDA was up for everybody who did the media tour, they all made videos and they showed off stuff. And I didn't watch any of those just because I don't want to see any of those zones
Yeah,
in depth.
there are videos in this, but we're not going to watch them.
Yeah. I don't want to see any in-depth videos about that kind of stuff. I want to experience it myself. The most that I've seen are the trailers and then also just some images. And that's what we're going to be going over today. So I made this fancy scene for those of you watching this. Whoa, look at that. I made this fancy scene. Let me actually, here, I'll make it look a little bit better if I just don't show the bookmark bar. There we go. This scene specifically so we could check it out. You guys can see it if you're watching the video. If you're not, we're going to be talking about it as well. So basically they're just saying that it's coming on pretty soon.
I like this illustration at the top. So it is do you know where that is?
This one up at the top?
Yeah.
That is one of the new zones, which we will talk about. That zone is this one, Thavanair.
It's a very like colorful, like fabrics
it's very,
laid over
it's very
everything.
Middle Eastern,
like Moroccan,
or Moroccan,
like,
or
y'all.
Indian. Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
So, well, they have that new race that's like the big elephant people too.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay, sorry, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. So 5 new areas have been shown for Endwalker so far, according to the official trailer and teasers posted. There is Old Charlian, Thavanair, Labyrinthos, which I'm actually kind of excited about that. Garlemald, and the Moon. Does the Moon have a name? I wonder if the Moon actually, I'm sure it does.
It's
but
called
pretty much just call it the Moon.
La Moon.
So Old Charlian. Old Charlian was revealed in the first trailer with a spiral of ammonite motif. I don't even know what with a spiral or ammonite motif. Man, they're using Oriangis over here. Later on, we just have a square. The square will place a new area where Alice and Alphino Louvière originate from. So this is basically
this is their home.
This is where is this the what is it called? The something of knowing, the circle of knowing, where that is from essentially. But it's really cool. It's like it's going to be a very elven city. We've heard about it for a long time. The archons of the Scions were taught. That's where the archons are from. So this is very much like
I feel like lots of like it's gonna be lots of like knowledge.
Yes, exactly.
And like maybe there's gonna be
a lot of scholars
like
without
books. There's gonna be books and candles, y'all.
Without saying that, without them, saying that scholars in the sense that they are the class scholars.
Oh yeah.
More like
True.
scholars as in
True.
the pursuit of knowledge scholars. But that's where they're going to be. We know that there's going to be that whole, thing with the twins and their dad, who is
that guy,
big old douche. So
that
far,
guy.
I don't like him. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that.
Have we ever seen their mother?
I don't know. So. Not that I can recall.
Okay.
And then it's funny because if you guys watch if you watch Kogan's videos, he made a video where he was reacting to someone who was watching the trailer for Endwalker, and they were just basically saying how much they hated it. And the person stopped the video and was like, "How is the water continuously coming from this statue?"
Magic.
And I was like, well, wait, it's not.
Magic.
You don't even need magic. That could be accomplished.
Water pipes.
That could be accomplished with a water pump. It's literally standing in the ocean.
Engineering.
It's literally standing in the
Water.
ocean, just a pump. But anyways, I'm excited. I think that visually, I'm most excited about Charlian. I think it's going to be, and lore-wise, I'm really excited about it too. But I think it's going to be a really cool looking zone. Then we have Thavnair.
Thavnair.
Thavnair. You know what? I'm noticing that
You were
there's
saying
not an extra A in there. Thavnair.
Thavnair.
Probably Thavnair. That's probably the correct term.
This is the elephant home.
Yeah, pretty much.
Home de la. It looks like Prey Return to Waking Sands.
The Waking Sands. It reminds me of in Stormblood, why can't I not remember the names of all these things? I apologize for those of you who are listening to this and you're like, you guys are so dumb. In Stormblood, the big open area with the music that's really good and sounds like the Lion King. Anyways, it has that kind of like architecture and look to it, except for this is a little bit more like cliffs and all that kind of stuff.
Is this where the elephant race is from?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
It says it's mostly been mentioned throughout Final Fantasy XIV items and clothing. Also, although the dancer job class originates from there as well. That's really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
It is Lush Island with Rads at Han as its capital. So
Azim Steep, Eric, is that what it is?
Yes, that is what it is. Rads at Han is the name of the capital. When I see Rads, I automatically think of like Fallout, like radiation rads.
Yeah.
Rads at Han. Final Fantasy Endwalker players will meet Thavnair residents through the Matanga, which are those. I think that
Matanga are
the elephant.
The elephant humanoids.
Yes. Interacting specifically with the Arkasodara tribe. They're elephant humanoids who are already part of Final Fantasy XIV, found in the Azim Steep and some treasure hunt dungeons. Oh, that's right. In the treasure hunt dungeons.
Yeah.
This whole
That's
thing
cool.
is themed after that.
I love
That's
it.
really cool. Huh. So are the elephant humanoids or whatever, the Matagna, are they Matanga? There we go. Their character models are actually in the game already, or is it that's just their like culture and stuff is alluded to, I guess.
I don't know.
But yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. The Azim Steep is the one that it reminds me of, which makes sense. It makes perfect sense. Labyrinthos.
This place looks very steampunky to me.
Yeah, this is the one that is
It's like a dome?
I don't know if it's going to be. It says it's completely underground, so it has a sky dome with an artificial sun. That sounds fucking cool. Like this very well has the chance of being my favorite zone like ever.
Well, steampunky. You love steampunk.
I've
stuff.
always really liked the idea of being underground but having a fake sky, like kind of the Journey to the Center of the Journey to the Center of the Earth. I think it's what it's called. Which is the one where it's like, I think they go so far down into the earth or whatever that it looks like there's a sky, like it's so high up there that there's actually clouds forming and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's what it makes me think of. And I'm really excited. It says it hasn't been announced where in the world this is yet.
Okay.
Who knows? It might be inside the moon.
That'd be cool.
The building design leads people to believe that it may be related to Charlian in some way.
Okay.
What was revealed is that Labyrinthos is completely underground. The Sky Dome has an artificial sun.
That is cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm interested to see if they actually do something to try to make. And like I said, we might be able to watch videos and see this already. But me not having seen any of the videos that people have made from the media tour, I'm interested to see if they actually make it look like there's something up there, or if it's just like it just looks like the sky, and they're like, oh, that's not actually the sky. That's like some kind of, technology.
I just watched a video.
And it looks like that?
It looks like it's not underground.
That's cool. That's interesting. Yeah.
But there is like a visible like
Grate or something like that. Yeah.
lamp.
Oh, okay. Lamp.
Like a
Lampshade.
ceiling lantern thingy.
Then we have Garlemald. We all know about Garlemald. We've been talking about Garlemald for a while in this game. We've been seeing like cutscenes and stuff in Garlemald.
Yeah.
Garlemald has been increasingly featured in every Final Fantasy expansion, but it appears the players will actually get to go there themselves in Endwalker,
cool. I think that's
which
pretty
is
cool.
really, that is cool.
So it's kind of like a factory type of place,
It's
and then
very
outside
industrial.
it is snowy.
It's very industrial. It's like Ishgard meets, obviously, Garleans are all about technology and stuff like that, so it's going to be very industrial.
Yeah.
It's where the Emperor was before he was, that whole thing happened. So unfortunately what's shown appears to be completely ruined by civil war, so players won't see the area in its prime.
So is this supposed to be kind of a semi-post-apocalyptic type of
Sorta. So
scenario?
the Civil War is from what I understand, what I think I'm correct in this, is that the Civil War is after the Emperor was killed, and now they're infighting amongst themselves.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in Garlemald itself. So we're seeing a more ruined version of it, which kind of sucks that we didn't get to see the fancy version, the cool looking in its prime, like it said. But I'm still excited to see it.
Yeah. I think it's
Apart
cool.
from the moon being a location, not much has been revealed beyond this job class video, which was shown at the first Endwalker trailer. There's some kind of Crystal Tower-esque looking place, and the only reason I say Crystal Tower-esque is just because it's blue, it's a tower, it's not made of crystal really, and it's on the moon.
It looks to me like what I think our moon would look like.
Yeah, they didn't really make it. It doesn't look like they tried to make it look like some kind of fancy fantasy version of the moon. It looks like the moon. It just has, stuff on it. In this picture, you can actually see right here what looks like. I think that's the design for all of the Aether crystals.
Yeah.
In this expansion, so that's going to be like an area that questing zone or whatever. It's going to be interesting to see because it looks like there's like this purple crater. It's going to be interesting to see if that's something that was just like magically teleported there.
Oh.
Sort of like Dalaran was moved from,
Yeah.
the Dalaran crater or whatever in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to Beast Tribes.
So what do you think overview of all of those zones? Are you
Personally,
excited about all of them?
I think that they're all going to be cool. I think that honestly the Thavnair is probably my least favorite, and it's just because that whole like aesthetic isn't really my favorite. I don't dislike it. I just am not excited about it as much. I think Labyrinthos sounds really, really cool, so I think I'm most excited about going there. And then, of course, Charlene's going to be great. The moon is going to be cool.
I'm excited for different reasons for all of them.
Yeah.
For sure.
So moving on to Beast Tribes, we obviously I think that the Mantanas.
Mantanas?
I don't remember what those elephant guys are called. I just said Mantanas.
They're called Matangas.
Matangas. I think they're going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if they were a beast tribe. I don't know if that's been announced or not. Like I said, we haven't really.
Oh,
looked
it says
into all of
only
this.
one has been announced so far. Loporite?
Loporits. The Loporits. Yeah.
Hello. Can we not? This has to be a race.
Playable
y'all.
race. I know. Listen.
I know you said
Square Enix.
We know that y'all watch and
We
listen.
know that you guys are listening to this podcast.
You listen to every single
Your biggest fan.
podcast. We know you're like number one generic.
Obviously,
fans.
Yoshi. I know that you're there, Yoshi P. Listen, this needs to be a playable race.
I need to be.
Put them in there.
I need to be a Lala-sized bunny. Okay.
Like it's Lala.
Let this
it's
happen,
the Lala
please.
and the Vera, and they just like take them and just make them run as fast as they can at each other.
The eyes are so kawaii. They're so cute.
That is the first time I've ever heard Jen say kawaii. Like, not jokingly saying it. They're so kawaii. Jen's a weeb, guys. Congratulations. You've made it.
Yo, they're so cute. Oh, I need to be one of these.
I would totally play
I
that.
need one as a friend.
I would totally play that. Finally, weeb Jen.
Are you not like? Would you? I would play that. Would you play that? I would go. I would switch from Lala to being a Laporitis.
Loporits.
Loporits.
So fans are speculating it's most likely a Moon Beast tribe. Square hasn't confirmed that it will be the case, although they have said the Moon would have a Beast tribe. There's typically 3 Beast tribes for every Final Fantasy expansion. The Matanga are already confirmed as a Beast tribe for Thavnair. So we have one more Beast tribe that we don't know yet, I guess.
What do you think it'll be?
I don't know.
I feel like there's always like
unless it's
a
already
lizard
been
or reptile.
And if there's anything like if the third Beast tribe has been announced and we already know what it is in chat, you guys can more than welcome to tell us. But right now it's as far as this article that was written a month ago, this was all that was known. So Cactar is saying there were moon bunnies in Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, that's cute.
I just love them. I love the design of them. They look awesome. I'm really excited for them. Also, other locations that are liable to be announced before Endwalker's launch. Mercidia has been featured heavily in every Final Fantasy side content and every expansion bar Shadowbringers. It'd be strange not to see Mercidia in Endwalker. We do have Mercidia and the New World, which we have not, are the 2 continents that we have not gone to, not including Endwalker stuff. So, it would be interesting to see if we see Mercidia at all, especially since lead scenario writer Natsuko Ishikawa revealed that Endwalker's story would include the dragons, and Mercidia was the city created by 2 dragons. So
yeah.
And then another possible location is Dalmasca. In the Stormblood Alliance raid, players went to the main city of Dalmasca for half of the first raid. The Resistance side of this story for Bojan has references to Bojan Resistance and the Warrior of Light. So there is a chance Square will make that will want to flesh that out further. Yeah, interesting.
That's cool.
And then the new races, we have the Malvera.
The Malvera.
Bun Boys. We know a lot of people who are excited about Bun Boys. I really wonder. I wonder if more, and I know that this, it doesn't really matter. It's the men, women, or non-binary. I really wonder if more women are excited about playing a Bun Boy.
About them chiseled abs? I don't know.
Than men or even non-binary are. I really do wonder, because I feel like I personally am and do not want to play a Bun Boy. I don't have any problem with them. I'm just not interested in them. And luckily, our community is being nice enough to vote that I get to play Hrothgar for the first month of Endwalker, because I actually really like the Hrothgar.
We reached a charity goal, and our community is currently voting. Which it'll be done by the time
this podcast is up. Yeah.
Out. But right now, they want us to be a cat couple. Mm-hmm. They want Eric to be a Hrothgar, and they want me to be a Makote.
Which I'm glad that they wanted us to be a cat couple, and then it didn't choose for me to be a Makote as well. So Malvera announced in Final Fantasy XIV's FanFest, the developers originally said they weren't going to add any more races to the game, but due to players requesting Malvera and female Hrothgar, they reconsidered. The Malvera will be included in Final Fantasy Endwalker's launch in November 23rd or 19th for those who pre-order. No word on whether Malvera will have the same headgear issue as the female counterparts, though. I think they said they were working on that for Vera altogether.
I do remember them saying that.
So hopefully they'll both have more headgear options. And then female Hrothgar, after announcing them, Vera, Square revealed that they are working on female Hrothgar characters. We don't have any visual of these.
We don't have any visuals, and then this also goes on to say that it will not be available at launch. But it will be post-launch. It'll be a post-patch launch release.
So sometime during Endwalker.
I'm excited to see what they're going to do, because I would not mind being a lion lady.
Their tail is currently tied to facial model and thus required Fantasia to change. That's really odd that the Hrothgar's tails are tied to their facial model. That's very weird. So hopefully they do fix that. So we're also getting dungeons, obviously. The trust system is getting updated. Final Fantasy XIV trust system go through the dungeons where the Scion teammates will be getting an update. You will be able to roll with Estinian. I remember hearing that.
Okay.
Estinian is new ally, helping balance your party since the current options including 2 magic DPS casters and no melee attackers. include 2 magic DPS casters and no melee attackers. And no Reen does not count. So we're getting a Stenian, which is cool. New dungeons and updates are coming, but Square has been tight-lipped on the specifics so far, save for a video called Dungeon Crawl and new dungeons page and Endwalker website. Some new art has been released, however.
This new dungeon that they just showed, it looks like it's inside of a worm. It's ooey icky. What? Dapper said hair, not tail area.
Oh, their hair. I thought you said tail. I was like, that's okay. Got it. Thank you. Sorry, that was me misreading chat, which is happens often. Their hair is related to their tail. That's still very strange.
So it's like we're gonna probably get some kind of industrial dungeon.
So
I mean, obviously, we're probably gonna have a dungeon in each new zone.
Yeah, I mean,
like a
Final Fantasy does a good job
zone.
at having a lot of they'll release more dungeons as the expansion goes as well. So
a Magitech train station that looks awesome.
Yeah. So it says appears to be a dark underground dungeon with demonic motif echoing a vibe similar to World of Darkness. The second pictured above is a Magitech looks like a Magitech train station, leading players to believe that it's located in Garlemald.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be like the train graveyard from Final Fantasy VII. That's what it's what it reminds me of, except for a little bit more Magitech, looking. Yeah. The third appears to be split into multiple areas. One is a burning forest, another part in a desert-like area, and the third located in a lab. Huh, that's interesting. I really like it when
lab would be kind of cool.
Kind of like Amarat, where it takes you to different, areas and stuff like that, like different places. I think that's really cool. Alliance raids, at least 2 Alliance raids have been crossovers, but Final Fantasy devs have said that the myth of the realm will focus on the 12 this time. So we're not getting a crossover Alliance raid like we did with
the previous.
What is it? Omega, and what was the other one? The Crystal Tower. Those were both like Final Fantasy. What was it? Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 6, as well as some other ones. So this one is going to be focused on Final Fantasy 14 story, which
gotcha.
It's okay. I'm okay with it, but I really, really, really love Final Fantasy 6. So the Omega part of Final Fantasy 6, was it Sigmascape, was my favorite, but I'm interested to see that. I mean, it's going to focus on the 12, so that's cool. The myth of the realm. I'm excited about that. And 12 haven't played an active part in Final Fantasy 14 outside of the character creation thus far, although they have been part of the game's wider lore. It's been hinted that the 12 did something amazing and were real people at one point. So it would so they're more like saints. The 12 are supposed to be almost like saints. Yeah. So it'd be great to get a chance to learn more about them for sure. And then of course we have the 2 new classes, Reaper and Sage. Sage. I said Sage.
Sage.
Sage. That's the fancy version of it. Oh yes, I play a Sage. Thank you very much. I'm a Sage. Reaper is melee. Sage is the newly categorized
shield
barrier healer.
Yeah.
And I am super excited to play a Reaper. I really love the aesthetic of the Reaper. From what I've seen, I really love the way that the Reaper's play style and stuff. I main a ninja, so the Sage. Makio in chat says Sage. Yes, that's the fancy way to say it. And these are Repair.
Okay, you cannot tell me that Hrothgar.
He looks fucking
Reaper
cool.
Looks badass.
Dude, he looks awesome.
Like,
I love that they did that.
If that picture does not make you want to be a Hrothgar Reaper, I don't know what would ever make you want to be one.
It's just that's really
not
cool.
Amazing?
I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to play a Reaper. There are only going to be 2.
Cool.
There are only going to be 2 classes. We are getting Reaper and Sage. Like I said, Reaper is a DPS, and Sage is a shield based, which is the barrier healers. They are splitting healers up into shield and pure, or barrier and pure, I should say. So
I will stay
from
the
now
pure
on,
healer as a white mage.
Duty Finder is going to fill whenever you're doing an 8-man, It's
One
going
of
to
each.
fill a pure and barrier slot. So they will be separate healer slots. One barrier, one pure. So that's going to be interesting. And a lot of people said that it's a good thing. I honestly don't know enough about the technicality of it all to really know whether or not it's a good thing, but
I will probably dabble in the
barrier.
sage.
But Jen is more of a pure.
I'm a reactive
She has a pure
healer.
heart.
I'm a pure-hearted healer.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it too. It's more of a reactive or a proactive or a reactive kind of.
That's I like that drawing of the.
Yeah, she looks
Vera
really cool too.
sage.
This is some real good art. Anyways, I'm excited about Reaper. Jen said she kind of she might play it. There's a lot of changes coming to the classes. I think a lot of classes are getting what is it called? When you move up closer. I forget what they call them, but
Tank busters?
No. Where you're able to gap closers.
Gap closers.
Yeah, except for I think that summoner, or was it not summoner? Crap, what was the one class? Scholar, I think. One of them is not getting much at all, and everybody was joking around how they're like, oh, they're pretty much they're pretty much getting ignored. I'm excited for the ninja changes. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I didn't really pay attention to anything but ninjas because I main a ninja. So I really love that they're adding in new abilities that are activated by your mudras, I believe. So there's one that it looks like you do your mudras, then you do the ninjutsu, or you do your jitsu, and then you proc a new ability. And there's some lightning related ones, which is I never remember how to say it. Raytion, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's a lightning ability. I love lightning magic when it comes to like anything like Thor kind of shit. So,
I think every job is kind of getting a rework.
Not necessarily a huge
not a
rework,
huge rework,
but they're getting extra stuff added. People are getting things, taken away. We're not going to go into all the specifics of it and everything because honestly, we don't understand.
So a little bit further down, they have tanks, healers, melee.
Yeah.
We kind of go over that because they are reworking.
Yeah.
Types, class type,
your roles,
role types.
Yeah, the roles. Rasengan, not Naruto, but it's spelled like ration, but it's like ration or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, so tanks will now be rewarded for using their cooldowns effectively. Not dying was a reward in and of itself, but Square has decided to add an extra incentive. Oh, the other class that I also play is a Dark Knight, and one of the things that I know that they're changing that I'm excited about is Salted Earth is cast beneath you. So no more need to make a macro to create to force Salted Earth to cast underneath you. Now it automatically just casts, because currently it casts wherever you place it. It's a placeable one. So now it's just like, because I don't ever see any other reason why you would want it to personally have never found any other reason to want to put it somewhere else besides just where I am, because it's an AoE, Range attacks will no longer break combos. This sounds minor, but it's actually a big change. Often when dodging an attack, a player has to either sacrifice their combo. Oh, that's true. Often with added effects of healing or a damage buff, or get a few extra hits in with a ranged attack. Now players can do both. Due to the stat squash, the disparity between magical and physical weapons will be balanced so they are equal to prevent one having an advantage over the other. I wonder if is that the case with limit breaks? Are they doing the same thing where they're balancing that between, or is it still going to be melee limit breaks are probably going to do the most damage? Healers. All healers will now receive a buff to single target heals. On top of that, offensive spells. That spell is offensive. No, offensive spells will have their cast time shortened to 1.5 seconds. This means that healers will be able to help more with DPS when they're not healing. Which is cool. I always like that about Final Fantasy XIV, is that healers do a lot of DPSing as well. The range of a healer's limit break will be increased by 50 yalms. Yalm is an in-game measurement, so it's uncertain how big that actually is until players have their hands on it, but it could mean the difference between wiping or completing some of the harder content. Level 1 and 2 healer limit breaks provides heals for everyone in range, but 3 will resurrect down players. This means that during harder bosses battles, the resurrect will most likely pick up every player. It's pretty significant, and it also it doesn't mention here that they are splitting healers into pure and barrier healers. Melee attackers, the Feint ability will now reduce both physical and magical damage dealt by an enemy, with physical damage getting a higher reduction. Ranged attack will no longer break melee combos. The same as the tank roll, a small thing that will have huge big impacts.
Huge big, y'all.
Huge big impacts. It will encourage players to use their ranged attacks more often. Same as the tank roll, weapons will be balanced due to stat squash.
Nice.
Range DPS, the cooldown of party-wide abilities will be reduced by to 90 seconds. I remember hearing that. Weapons will be rebalancing as well, although more specifics are yet to be announced. Magical DPS, there is only one major change in Endwalker. Addle will reduce the amount of damage the enemy does, both physical and magical, but with magic being reduced more, the opposite of what Feint, which was mentioned earlier. Oh, okay. That's cool. So Feint does both, but it does more physical, and then Addle does both, but it does more magic. Oh. Along with roll, each job also gets minor tweaks and updates. The job video shows what players can expect from their preferred jobs and classes in Endwalker. And then we're going into, I don't want to go over each.
Yeah, let's hop down to housing.
One. Let's go down. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming. You guys can, and we'll have a link to this in our Discord if you guys wanted to read this. What's happening in housing in Endwalker?
Housing.
What's happening in housing?
Housing, you say?
So one thing that was happening is we're getting Ishgard Housing,
but not at release.
Not at release, but we are getting it. Sorry, I was taking a drink. Ishgard Housing is exciting for me because I freaking love Ishgard. If we can move our FC house there, I would love it, but I doubt that that's going to happen because it's going to be hard, just as it always is. Housing is also changing to, I believe, half lottery system, half first come first serve system, as it is now.
Why don't you read all of this? And
I think that's the way, but Jen's telling me to read this. Okay. I've been working to Ishgardian Restoration, release Ishgard Housing. This was confirmed in a live letter. There's no information on how it will look, although it's been said the Ishgards will have the same number of wards at other housing estates. I think if you go to the Ishgardian Restoration area, you can kind of look at that.
It shows kind of examples.
I feel like that's pretty much how it's going to look.
I think so too.
Housing will be notoriously hard to get, has been notoriously hard to get. The system has a placard system, invisible timer. The player has to try to repeatedly buy a property because the timer is not visible. So all that can be done is to try and try again. Fortunately, the timer can be up to 12 hours of real time. It's a lot of clicking. Yeah, we've done that. It sucks.
We know.
Coming changes is a series of wards and plots. Endwalker will be introducing first come, first serve plots. They're similar to how they work now, but possibly without the visible timer. The other wards will be the lottery system. Players deposit gil into a house they want, with the winner selected at random. Everyone else's gil is refunded. This makes it a fair system that won't benefit bots. Like I just said, it's going to be half and half. So it seems like it. I don't think they verified whether or not it's going to get rid of that 12-hour timer or not.
They just said that it wasn't sure. You just read it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know if they will, honestly. I think that they're just going to keep it the way it is for half one of the wards. And then
so I'm interested to know, is this just going to be a change for Ishgard Housing, or are they going to retroactively go back and change this and be like, oh, guess what? You're in a lottery system ward.
Yeah. There will also be free company wards and solo wards as well. Square hasn't gone into detail. Oh, that's weird. Be better system. Okay. That's interesting. I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, we're already, like you said, we're already in a free company house in our ward. So is it going to reshuffle all the wards?
Well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they're going to do that.
Or if they're going to leave it the way it is and then just slowly fix it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Island Sanctuary is a new mode. I'm excited about this shit, you guys. Island Sanctuary is a new mode coming to Endwalker. Aside from the announcement not much has been said. The current speculation is that it'll be similar to Harvest Moon or Stardew Valley, where players can focus on gardening and animal care.
So, Eric, you also sent me something that we can read over that was about that.
There is a little bit more there, and I could pull that up. This one, I think it is. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys could see it. It's not properly... Here, let me push this over some. Anyways, it doesn't matter as much. Okay, so depending on the content, Final Fantasy Gardening will most likely document everything related to Islands, Sanctuary, and incorporate into the current site as needed. Blah, blah, blah. Yoshi P provided this in an interview. Players-owned islands will receive regular updates.
Nice.
Which is great. Island begins as a blank canvas.
That's cool.
You can place buildings. Wording used by translator was you can say like, okay, what kind of building do I want to place here? What type of materials do I want to gather?
That's cool.
Okay, maybe I want to let my minions run free. That sounds awesome.
That does sound cool. That sounds like a lot of options.
It sounds like an Animal Crossing island, you know?
Yeah.
Then tend to your animals and crops. Expand the territory on your island. Okay, so it seems like when you get your island, you're not going to have access to the entire thing. So you're gonna have to
unlock it.
You're gonna have to do something to be able to expand your territory. Yeah, not a competition between players, which is great. I love that because I don't like competition. I'm not a PvP person. No pressured timed content. Also awesome. Now, I would assume that there's no pressured time content, like no pressured time content, but I feel like there is going to be time-based content because you're growing crops.
Yeah, I agree.
So there is going to be time-based content.
I get what you're going. I get what you're going.
I get what you're going. But no high-level weapons or gear. Obviously, I don't feel like that would be important. And then this is an area to relax. Also explicitly stated that you can call over your friends to your island and have them chat with them. You can go visit your friends' islands. So you're going to be able to have other people visit your island, which is, again, fantastic. Very much like we said, it's very much like Animal Crossing. It feels like Animal Crossing. I'm surprised that people haven't compared this to Animal Crossing like more. I think that thing we were reading was like Stardew Valley. I feel like this is much more Animal Crossing-esque, specifically New Horizons because of the whole island thing. There is a focus on the house, the garden, and the furniture, but you can see this as a bit of a rank higher. There is a bit more broad things in the mix. Now, I do wonder...
What?
That does make me wonder how this is going to work. Is it essentially going to be a house for everyone? If you have an island, right, and your island has a house on it that you can decorate, right, is this just going to be player housing for everyone, essentially? How is it going to differ from having your own player house? And how are they going to be able to manage...
Because you're probably not, like... So
everyone having their own island.
A player house you can be near an auction house. You can put down a FC chest. You can put down a mailbox. You're probably not gonna have any of those perks.
So it's just gonna be like, I feel like, does that mean that they're all gonna be individually instanced islands? Like you're going to be going to your own individually instanced island?
I think it's gonna be like a WildStar. Like our own island.
I get what you're saying. I just feel like they've had so much trouble with like the reason they don't have more housing is because they can't have that, like server couldn't handle having that much, adding more housing. So now we're going to be getting these islands, and it's going to be individual islands for every single player.
I think that it's gonna, because you remember in WildStar, like you could look up to the right and see somebody else's.
But I don't think that you could actually see real people, though.
No. But you could tell it was somebody else's house.
It was supposed to be someone else's house. I don't think it actually was. I think it was just supposed to simulate being someone else's house. I think that it's going to be like instanced and everything. Anywho, and then another thing that's going to be awesome. Another thing that I remember reading that we haven't really heard much of is gold saucer updates.
What?
Gold saucer updates. That makes me happy. because Jen and I both love the gold saucer.
I love the gold saucer. Love me a good gambling.
Don't mind this thing going into our screen. Yeah, we love the gold saucer. So I have been saying for a while the gold saucer needed more stuff. People are guessing that they're going to add Blitzball. If you played Final Fantasy X, Blitzball is like soccer, but in this 3D sphere. And you're like, it's omnidirectional because you're kind of floating in a sphere. You could play Blitzball in Final Fantasy X, and I think 10 too as well. I think that would be really cool. I hope that they make it look cool because the whole thing about Blitzball that I think is really exciting. Not only is the game itself, but it's like this giant stadium and there's seats like all really high up on the sides, and then it's a big sphere in the middle. So they would have to replicate that some way, somehow. Now that's just guess. That's a player guess. That's the community guessing. They haven't said that they're adding that. But it says that the rumors have been abound that it may be a large update similar to Mahjong. Which is funny. I don't know if you guys know this little tidbit of information, but there was a professional Mahjong player who joined Final Fantasy XIV just to play Mahjong in Final Fantasy XIV because it was the most accurate digital Mahjong
Well, I
game.
had tried to find, remember that, Eric? I had tried to find a really good original Mahjong app so I could learn to play in Final Fantasy, and I couldn't find one.
Couldn't find one that was actual Mahjong. Because they have these like ones that are almost like matching, like a matching game, and it doesn't play quite like Mahjong does
at all.
So that's pretty crazy.
So two other things. New data center Oceania, which and then over here it says Australian. Also expanded horizons via data center travel system.
And then we also are getting the removal of our belts. Everybody's taking their belts off.
Yo, you better make sure you get pants that fit. Cause
when we get onto whatever ship is going to take us to the moon, they have like a metal detector, and they're going to be like, it's going to be like the TSA, going through the TSA.
Oh, gosh.
And it's only going to be run by Lalas, and they're going to be like just standing there. You don't want to get pat down by a Lala. So you're going to take your belt off, right? Because you're like, I'm not getting pat down by a Lala. I'm taking my belt off. You take your belt off. Put it in the belt the belt trash bin. They're just gonna have these trash bins full of fire, and you're just gonna throw that belt in there. No more belts.
No more belts.
Which is great because belts are pointless. Belts you couldn't use belts were not visually like you couldn't see them, so they're pretty much just. I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. So no more belts. It says available only before patch 6.0. Materia extraction, buying, selling, the market board, levy turn in or leave, supply mission turn in, use coffers containing only belts. Belts can no longer be used to complete leaves as of 6.0, regardless of whether the leave was accepted prior to release. Make sure you understand that. And then available afterwards, materia retrieval, sale to shop vendors, desynthesize, expert delivery turn in, and discarding. Pretty much you could throw it away. So, no belts. Everybody get rid of your belts. And to be honest, who needs belts when you're in outer space, right? Your pants aren't going to fall down.
They ain't going to fall down. My belts are going to stay on my butt.
Space is going to
my pants are going to stay on my butt, not my belts.
Your belt's going to be gone.
My belt's going to be a goner.
So, yeah. Belts are gone. That's cool. Downscaling values. They're going to be doing what kind of World of Warcraft did more recently, where they just squished everything. They're not squishing your levels. We're still going from 80 to 90. So max level is going to be 90, but you will be, all of the numbers are getting squished. So you're still going to be doing a bunch of damage. I don't know how that's going to affect doing old content. I know that in World of Warcraft, it fucked up doing a lot of old content. So hopefully they're going to not have that problem. Where you can't go back and solo old content, because that I feel like that's just part of MMOs at this point. Where if I can't go back and solo old content that's like 6 and 7 years old, I can't just go back myself and do it. Like that sucks, I mean, I'm supposed to be this way more powerful, hero than I was back then. I should be able to go back to this old content and be like, boop, and then they're dead.
What if your pants fall up? floating pants.
Oh,
What if it gives you a wedgie?
Yeah, it gives you a wedgie because there's no gravity.
Ow.
It'll get too high. Little do we know that in the world of Final Fantasy XIV, belts serve a purpose. They don't hold your pants up. They actually keep your pants from going like continuously going up because all pants are magic. So if you didn't have a belt on, they wouldn't fall down. They would just keep like going up until it's all up in there.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Okay.
We need belts. We need them. Yeah. Wow.
We'll have a black market belt seller.
Black market belt seller. Removal of HQ of high quality gathering items. What? I don't know enough about gathering to understand this.
Gathering. So you're still going to be able to
Make high quality
craft gear at high quality.
Oh, okay.
So that's pretty much the gist of it, I think.
Okay. Increased rates. They're making it more expensive for us to travel.
Look.
What the heck?
Why? Why you got to be like that, huh? Why you got to do this to me?
So,
I'm trying to save my gil.
Right now there is a cap on any teleportation that is 999 gil. They're taking that cap away. I mean, it makes sense. You're like, I'm just hanging out in Old Dog, just ERPing in the quicksand. I want to go to the moon. That's gonna be expensive. Okay, you're gonna have to pay for it. So, high quality items and increased rates. Data center cross travel. They said that this is not going to be a 6.0 release. That means that we're not getting it when Endwalker comes out. They're saying it's going to be, from what I understand, and it doesn't say in this article, from what I've read other than this, it's going to be 6.0 point something.
So it won't be like the first patch. It will be like
a
baby patch.
Yeah, it'll be between.
What do y'all call those?
Just between
like,
it's just a
bug.
It's just a patch.
Bug.
Because it's not a content patch. Anyways, so it'll be between release and the first main patch. At least that's what I've read. And then I don't know. Oh, I was like, I don't know why it says how much. It has a thing on how much Endwalker will cost in Australia, but that's because we're on Kotaku Australia. Yeah. For a second, I was just like, what is that, man? Why are we specifically looking at how much it's going to be in Australia?
Because we care about Australians.
But anyways, yeah, so that's it. That's pretty much, I'm excited for.
Good gist of
I'm excited for all that stuff.
I'm excited.
I don't know about you, Jen.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
DMCA. Okay, that's enough. But anyways, I hope that you guys are excited. If you are watching this in somewhere where you can comment, let us know what you're excited the most about in the comments.
And if you can't comment, come tell us in Discord or in stream.
Because we love talking about this stuff with you guys. But anyways, I'm really excited about everything that's coming. I really am probably the most excited about the Island Sanctuaries just because I really love having chill stuff to do in games. And it's going to be one of those things where I feel like we can go run dungeons, do MSQ, and then we could be like, all right, you want to go hang out in do Island Sanctuary stuff? Sure. And Jen and I are a lot more of a chat focused stream. So we like to do stuff in content in game and everything, but we also really like to talk to you guys in chat. So if we actually have something that we can do that's not going to take all of our focus away, we can do it while talking to chat.
Yeah.
So that's going to be cool. I would honestly, I know that it's supposed to be solo content, but it would be cool if there was stuff that they added to Island Sanctuaries that allowed you to do it with people. But I think that it's going to be more of, hey, come to my island and hang out and look at stuff, and that's it. That's going to be the extent of other people coming to your island. It's really just going to be for them to look at things and then like to talk. It's not going to be as much actually come and do stuff together. But I am interested to see how the Island Sanctuaries affect the RP aspect of things, because
that's true.
A lot, like right now, it's like you come to my FC house and we're going to do this RP thing in the, I was going to say we're going to do this RP thing in the basement.
No,
it just makes it sound so creepy. Our basement is a pub. Right, so it's a tavern, so it's not that weird. But anyways, yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how many people you can have on your island and all that kind of stuff, like how many people you can invite to it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and for chatting with us.
Yeah.
we
it
are
was
going to
great.
be back.
So excited.
Very, very soon to be playing Endwalker. I think that we said that once this is up everywhere, it's going to be like less than a week away. So we are very excited to play Endwalker and to play Endwalker with you all.
And don't forget, you can find us on all social media sites at JenEricLive, JenEricLive.
Yep, JenEricLive. It's pretty easy to find pretty much everywhere. We stream Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sundays at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we will see you all very, very soon. Everyone, have a fantastic night. If you were watching this on the stream, please stick around for the raid. And yeah, we'll see you around, everybody. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. JenEric Endtalkers is recorded live on twitch.tv/JenEricLive, where Jen and Eric also stream a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, as well as a few other games. And as always, keep your forge hot and your ale cold.